Welcome everyone to another 2021 edition of STEM Together, where we facilitate discussions involving industry professionals and students on everyday matters involving STEM. Now, today's topic of interest has become synonymous in our vocabulary, in industry, and in everyday life. Now, if you've guessed it right, today's topic is on AI, otherwise known as artificial intelligence. Now, most, if not all of us have heard about it, but do we understand what AI means? But before we engage in discussion, let me first introduce myself and our invited guests today. Hi everyone, I'm Danny from Science Centre Singapore, and I'm pleased to be the facilitator of today's discussion with two wonderful guests. Firstly, Dr. Xu Xinxing, a computer scientist from the A-Star Institute of High Performance Computing. Dr. Xu, how are you?
Pretty good, thank you.
Wonderful, thanks for joining us today. And secondly, we have Cheryl Tay, a student representative from Raffles Girls School. Cheryl, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Today, let's unpack AI a little bit and find out how our guests define that, how they consider its implications, and how they imagine its future. So let's start with Cheryl. Cheryl, what comes to mind when you hear the words artificial intelligence?
Well, I think of things such as machine learning and algorithms, and how algorithms help in recommending advertisements or content to consumers throughout the internet. Yeah, I mainly encounter this in YouTube, where the algorithm recommends me videos to watch based on my topics of interest, and sometimes it will also recommend strange things, strange content, but that is just YouTube.
Okay, any other platforms besides YouTube where you feel like, hey, there's some AI involved in this?
I think there is this translation website that uses AI to better translate different languages. So I use that sometimes, and actually the result that comes out is actually pretty good, like pretty accurate. It's called DeepL Translate, and it's quite smart. Yeah.
It's better than Google Translate?
I would say yes, better than Google Translate.
And so what is that other language, just out of curiosity?
Chinese.
Okay, now let's jump to Dr. Xu. Dr. Xu, what comes to mind when you hear the word AI?
Okay, I think the terms come into my mind include the mathematics and computer programming. So it's more like from the technical perspective. Actually, as you know, right, AI can simulate or mimic human intelligence by learning from data. Actually, the one you just mentioned, you to discuss like the machine translation, right, and also the voice recognition. So these are the typical applications. But I can just give a few key AI technologies. I think it includes the machine learning, right? Sharon just mentioned this before, and also computer vision and natural language processing.
We're going to move a little bit now to the next pillar of this discussion, from the definition of AI to the implications of AI. Now, there's this phrase that says machines aren't taking jobs, they're transforming them. Cheryl, what do you think?
I actually wrote some notes about this yesterday before I slept, so I'll just, I wrote them on my phone, so I'll just read them out. Okay, so this is how I personally feel about this. So while machines remove the need for jobs in a certain area, right? So it also simultaneously creates skilled jobs in another area. So maybe, for example, you have a machine that makes like 100 pillows an hour. So while we no longer need people to actually like manually sew the machines together, sew the pillows together, what am I saying? But we still need people who are skilled in operating and engineering the machine. So it kind of like displaces the job from one area to another area. So it's not really removing the total number of jobs in total. Yeah. So it's like kind of like evolution. It creates new niches of jobs. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's an interesting practical observation. All right, so what about you, Dr. Xu? What is your take on AI machines not taking jobs but transforming them?
Yes, I think I couldn't agree more on this view. So, for example, in the era of healthcare, actually healthcare workers still play an important role, even though we have been developing some successful artificial intelligence technologies for them, for this sector. So I think AI will still be used as a tool to assist the doctors and the nurse to make better and faster decisions. Rather than AI taking over human, people and AI will work together in a collaboration manner.
Now, on the final pillar, let's move on to the future of AI. Now, AI is everywhere at the moment. And I think it may be safe to presume it's going to remain a big way of life for most, if not all of us. Cheryl, what is one innovation that you'd like to see in future, something that has yet to be invented or introduced to the masses?
I mean, I was thinking more along the lines of helping in research and such. Yep. Not really the masses, sorry, but because I'm more towards I'm very sciencey, so I was thinking more towards that. So I'm not sure if AI is already used for it, but maybe it can also help to analyze large data sets all at once, because I have seen times where like researchers have to like just look at this tiny data, like not tiny but one data set, and then it kind of seems very hard for them to do that. So maybe AI can help to look across several data sets. Then it also has the same effect of increasing the sample size, and so maybe the results that you will get is a bit more reliable, and maybe you can more easily find patterns or trends that may help you in your research.
Wow, that's a very good answer. What about you, Dr. Xu? What is one innovation that you'd like to see? I'm hoping maybe it might be a product innovation, but feel free to share whatever comes to mind. And how long do you think it would take for that innovation to enter the market?
Okay. So one thing I'm thinking is maybe the personal healthcare assistance, right? So now, because now if you have some problem, right, healthcare problem, you need to go to hospital, go to the polyclinic to see a doctor, right? But the thing here with AI, right, we are able to transfer or learning some knowledge from the doctors so that the personal healthcare could be taken at home, right? So in this way, we could be able to identify some kind of disease, like for example, the heart disease, the glaucoma, quite early to prevent some irreversible damage. I think this could potentially could be a very interesting area.
So thanks so much for weighing in, Cheryl, and Dr. Xu for contributing to this discussion on AI. You know, as a noob, I think I don't know anything about it, but I think I know a little bit more now, and I've definitely learned from both of your candid sharing, and I trust that our viewers have as well. If you're all watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please hit that notification bell to subscribe. And if you're watching STEM Together series on Facebook, click follow. And remember, like and share this video with your friends. Stay tuned for our next conversation. This is Danny with my guests Cheryl and Dr. Xu signing out. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.